Hey everyone, Yanni Plays here and welcome back to Animated Minecraft. So today we are going to do a run cycle. And the run cycle is built very similar to the walk cycle. So that's why some of the things I'm going a little bit faster than what I did in the last tutorial. So if this one here is your very first tutorial, then I recommend to at least go and watch the walk tutorial. I will put the link up here in the top right corner so you can click on there directly. So in Blender, I already imported a player rig and we have everything set up the same as for the walk cycle. We have our auto keyframing on. We start at 0 and we are ending at frame 23. Now at the beginning, it's going to look that the character is running very slow, but as everything in Blender, we can just at the end select everything and scale it to the speed that we need. So with our character selected, let's switch over into the pose mode and let's get started animating this character here. So the first thing that we are going to do is at frame 0, we are going to start with our initial contact pose. And for that, we are going to grab one of our legs, and that is the right leg. So we're going to grab this leg and we're going to move it back so that we have almost a 90-degree angle straight back in the air. And then we're going to rotate it just a little bit so that our leg up here at the front is stretched just a little bit more. Then our front leg we are going to grab and we are going almost fully stretched, making sure that we're not overextending it. And we're setting it down about like that. And then we're going to grab our torso and we rotate the whole torso forward a little bit. We have a nice lean towards the front. And since we're already in a side view, let's also go ahead and rotate the head down slightly. Next, we're setting up our arms. So the arms again are going to be rotated that when the left leg is front, the right arm is in the front. And this time we're going higher than in the walk cycle and we're going to bend it in a little bit. And then our other arm is at the side, hanging back and is also bent forward a little bit. Then we also adjust our hip rotation. So we rotate the hip to the front on our front leg, and then we give a counter rotation on our chest so that our whole body is twisted. Once all of that is done, let's go to our frame number 6. So in frame number 6, we are taking our front leg and we are moving it back so that we are pretty much leaning forward with the whole body. So you can see we have the upper leg is tilted back and then the bottom even more, and so that just the tip of our toe is sitting up on the floor. Then the leg that was in the back now goes to the front, and we are going to step up here just about like that so that the lower leg is parallel with this leg here. So now that the legs are changed, let's go ahead and go to our pose that we're going to put in at 12. And the pose at 12 is pretty much the pose that we have here, but flipped in the opposite direction. Now, instead of doing everything manual again, I'm going to show you something a little bit different. However, for that trick to work, it is important that you have a proper rig that is properly named. So as you can see, we have here all the lefts and the rights. Actually, I can show you that down here as well. I didn't show you that the last time, but some people prefer to work with this one here. So for example, if I select this foot here, you can see that this one is the foot on the left side. If I select the foot on the other side, you can see this is the foot on the right side. So if we have the proper left and right, then this one here is going to work. So for that, what we are going to do is we are selecting all. So we're just clicking on A. Now all of the bones are selected. And then in our dope sheet, we are going to box frame all of the keyframes in 0. Then with all of the ones in 0 selected and nothing else selected, we can go into key. And then we do copy keyframes. Next, we are going to frame number 12. And then we go on key again. And then we do paste flipped. Now you can see that we have the same arm motion that we had before, the same rotation and the leg, but everything now is flipped. As you can see, this one here is 0, This one here is 12, so it is exactly flipped. So that is saving us a whole bunch of time to set up the second half of the body. But we still have to do some fine adjustments. So for that, we're going to frame 6 and then we're going back 2. So that will be frame 4. And then here we are grabbing our body and we're just going to put it down a little bit so that we have a little bit of a bounce motion. And then either at frame 4 or at frame 3, we are also going to adjust our leg here. We're going to this side here so we can see that a little bit better to explain what I want changed. So as you can see here, the leg now is more than 90 degrees. So I don't like that and I want to change that. So let's select our foot and just pull it down a little bit so that we have more than 90 degrees, but make sure that the foot is still above the ground. So I'm trying to leave at least one of those squares here in between. And then we're just looking at all of the frames between 3 and 6 and make sure that our leg on the right side is not going over those 90 degrees. Once that's done, let's go to frame number 8. And in frame number 8, we are going to lift our whole body up a little bit. And then we go up one more frame. Frame number 9. And frame number 9 is the frame where our character is going to be completely in the air. I'll lift it up. We're going to spread it out just to make sure that we have some nice air here, because that's where our character is flying in the air and we are just gaining a lot of momentum. Then let's scrub through the motions that we put in, and actually here on frame 5 where we put the whole body down a little bit, go ahead and rotate the head up a little bit so we have a nice head movement. Perfect. So now we already have half of our animation done. So you can see here the left foot is in the front and here the right foot is in front. So we have to do exactly the same as what we did in our halfway point with the flipped pose. Now we are just going to flip the whole animation. So for that, let's make sure that everything is selected. Go to select and select all. And then over in our dope sheet, we are going to select all of the keyframes, every single one. We go to key, we copy the keyframes, and we're setting our cursor to 12. Go on key again, and then put paste flipped. Now if we click on play, you can see our whole animation is now perfectly flipped. Now on this one here, it is important that everything here is collapsed. So for example, if you would have some of them open, it can mess up the copy and the paste. So just make sure to have your animation here open, the action open, and then all of those are closed so that all of them are green. So now you can see that our real Didymus here is running around, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the tutorial, if we want to change the speed now, we are going to do that now. So let's say we want that he runs a little bit faster. For that, we're just going with our cursor into our dope sheet, click A so that all of our keyframes are selected. Then you click S and we just scale everything in. Now, make sure that everything, when you scale it, that your cursor is in here and not over here, because if you're over here and scale, then you just scale your character. And now, of course, we have to select them again and move them back to the start. And we have to set our new end to 13. And as you can see, he now is running already quite a bit faster. But you can see we're stopping here a little bit, and that is because we actually need to have our last keyframe. This keyframe here, 13, is exactly the same as what we have at 0. So we actually have to end at 12. So now you can see we are running without any hiccups. And then from here on, it is going to be exactly the same as what we have on the walk cycle. We select all of them, We do Shift D to duplicate. We set the last keyframe on the first one. Shift R to repeat. Then we're setting our new end to 90. Go on to the very first keyframe. We click on I, we do location, rotation, scale. Then we grab our character, move him up on the Y-axis wherever we think he should be after this time. Go to our very last keyframe. Do again, location, rotation, scale. And then we switch over to our graph editor, select all of them and make sure that they are linear again. And now all we have to make sure is that we don't have any slippage. Pretty much the same as what we did in our walk cycle. We are just going to adjust that. And that is how we are doing a run cycle. Now in comments of the last tutorial about the walk cycle, I was asked, hey, how do I copy a walk cycle over to a different sheet? And I'm just showing you how I do it. So I am going to select the character that I want to copy over. And then we have to select all of the keyframes that we want to copy over. For this one here, we are going to box select everything up to here. And then you can Control C them, so you can copy them. You go and you open a different file. And now in this sheet here, I could just take this character here, can go to the end, to the last one, and then we can paste in those keyframes. So now the running cycle is in here. And if you want to know what else we can do with walk and run cycle and how can we mix different cycles together, or how can we make that like the character is waving at you when he is walking past, then make sure that you subscribe, because that is going to be our next tutorial that we are going to look at before we finally import a world and actually start animating a small little movie. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you already hit the subscribe button or the like button, and I hope I see you at the next video. Thank you very much and have a good day.